We promised to go fast because I know that everybody wants to get out of here and work on billable stuff.
Yeah. So to get us started in advance, we'd apologize for our deck. It's not nearly as beautiful as the other ones we've seen. It's pretty hideous, but the content in there is really great. And also, we might swear a little bit. So, sorry. All right, so we're here today to talk about Plotter, but before we dig right into that, we want to talk a little bit about a project we worked on in the past that kind of set us up to get to Plotter and to get to our process around our agency and how we structure ourselves around business in general.
So let's go back in time.
So the year of our Lord, 2008. So to set the stage a little bit, Miley was still Hannah, and twerking wasn't a word yet. And here are some of the things Time Magazine noted as the inventions of the year. Hulu really changed the industry on how people watch TV and digital streaming. Sonos, which if you don't know is Bluetooth wireless speakers. They were invented this year. Now I'm sure we'll have them all in our offices and in our houses. Hitachi released the quote-unquote ultra flat screen TV. It's a big move. The App Store was invented. This was 1 year after Apple released the iPhone, and the iPad did not exist. Digital SLR cameras came out.
What?
As well as...
Where's Paul?
Yeah. As well as the Amazon Kindle released this striking tablet. So that sets the stage a little bit of what was going on in the world around us in 2008. At that time, we were still working together on a freelance capacity, and we had the ability to pitch a new marketing strategy for a client who, I won't mention their name, but they made this stuff that we never see anymore. They made film and processing chemicals as well as some CPG products that go along with that cameras. So this was probably one of the biggest challenges I've seen in an RFP because it was shit. They wanted us to market something that was dying, and we all knew it was dying, and they were unable to accept that. So we had to decide from strategy what we wanted to do, if we wanted to be honest with them or if we wanted the business. And as I said, we were still working at a freelance capacity, so if it wasn't going to be big, it wasn't worth us taking the time out of our nights and weekends to really go after. So what we pitched them was a really cool idea of an application that takes photos. And you can take those photos and put what we now know as filters on them and really apply effects to photography that traditional photographers in a dark room, it might take them hours or even weeks to accomplish what they're looking for. We'd be able to do it in seconds.
So we wanted to take those photographs and put them on the line. For anybody? Anybody? So the client reaction, fuck you. That's one.
So exactly that. The client going in and telling a client that what they're doing is wrong and it's going to get them basically 1 foot in the ground and they're going to go out of business if they don't change their business is not a good approach for an RFP response. So right. We put a lot of time and energy into this, and we had all the facts, all of our ducks in a row to tell them what they were doing was wrong, but this was still the response. So us being committed to our ideas, we also had Chris's reaction to their reaction looked something like this. So
just let that sit for a second.
And if you haven't seen this video, you should definitely look
Google
it up.
the worst, or is it the most epic cry ever?
Yeah.
YouTube it.
So we did, what we did with that is we kind of went home, we tucked our tails between our legs and went on with life. And this is something all of us have done a number of times. You work on a pitch, you put all the time and energy into it that you can, and you believe it's the best thing that you can come up with,
Ever.
and then you have one person tell you that it's not a good idea, and you say, fuck it, it's not a good idea, and you go home. So the outcome was exactly that. We did nothing, and we talked about it over and over again. Remember that thing we pitched? That was awesome. But we still did nothing. So that was a pivotal fork in the road for us, where on the left side of the road, if you go to the next screen, is a year later, these
fucking guys,
really
right?
released a program called Instagram, which is commonplace now.
We're going to take these photos and we're going to put them on the line.
Exactly. So they sold for $1 billion and some odd dollars on an idea, and I'm not by any means saying we were the only people that came up with this idea, because I'm sure if you go to agencies across the world, everyone's like, yeah, we did the same exact thing you did. We had a similar idea, but we didn't do anything. The other side of the road is what we did. So we did nothing, and now I drive a Ford Focus. So this is, as we built our agency, this was something very early on that was really a thorn in our side, and we still talk about it to this day. Now it's a little bit more humor, but this was very upsetting to us. We came up with something, and we were weak about it. We didn't dig our heels in, and we had the capability to build something. We wanted the client to build it with us. When they said no, we said, okay, and we shrugged our shoulders. And that's something as an agency we feel really strong about, is to not do that again. When opportunities come up, when we have the ability and we think we can change an industry, or we see something missing, we shouldn't wait for our clients to be with us. We should build it and make them regret that they didn't listen to us.
Forever. This is what we learned, not just learned. So the first thing we learned was seize the opportunities. The second thing is you got to have nuts. In this world and what we do, and the folks that were sitting up here all did really challenging things and amazing things with their clients, and no offense to our clients because we love our clients. But we had an opportunity that we missed. So we fast forward a little bit to the opportunity in 2012. So in the framework of this, in talking about why we're here, mapping. So in mapping, you're either searching or getting directions, and that's all that ever existed. So there's really nothing in the market that allows users to collect and share and sort your maps and locations information on an application or on a desktop computer of sorts. So the idea was really simple, right? Build a full-featured social mapping platform where users can create, share, crowdsource, and discover maps that are accessible on all of their devices. Awesome. So now what the fuck do we do? Just fucking build it. Chad?
Yeah. That's right.
So again, and not to minimize this, but we had this really amazing opportunity to do something that hadn't been done before. We had no funding. We had no idea what we were doing, so we just decided to fucking build it. So our process through this, we had, I think, 17 different names, 35 logos, 6 iterations of wireframes, 5 iterations of designs, about 1,700 non-billable hours. So for any of those account people that are out there, they know how much fucking money we lost doing this, right? One crazy launching strategy at South by Southwest, and there was 2 missed flights due to a hangover.
That's my fault.
Yeah. Right. Set your alarm, Tim.
It wasn't
Set your
a
alarm,
hangover,
Tim.
I was still drunk.
Set your alarm, Tim. So the result of all of this, right, is Plotter, which is just that. It was the first application for crowdsourcing, sharing, and mapping locations in a situation in iOS, any app, desktop, whatever. There's like 15 things now that are out there that completely rip this off, some of which are really, really generously funded. Again, a little bit of validation in the process. But the result of this, right, is this isn't really done, right? We're still working on this. We're right now still in iOS. We're building the framework for Android and desktop and all that kind of stuff. And Chad can talk about all the nerd stuff we do.
Yeah.
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 And that's it. So that's our process and how we got to that. And again, that the moral for us was don't hesitate for, if you have a great idea, it probably is a great idea, and figure out a way to continue to push it. And if you don't have the nuts to do it with a client, do it on your own. Tim?
No, that's it. Questions?
Epic high five?
Yep.
Epic high five.
Thanks.
That was not epic.
Yeah.
Embarrassing.
Quick question, Chris. What was the one thing that you wish you could go back and redo again about this whole project from start to finish?
Oh, boy. Yeah, so we're working on the next iteration of this, and we're hoping to launch the next version of the application this summer. I think we got swept up, just to be really honest and candid about it. We got really swept up after South by Southwest by Silicon Valley investors. If you guys have seen the Silicon Valley show, it's hilarious. Which there's a little microcosm of that actually existed. We had a lot of folks that wanted us to close recess and come out to California and do Plotter full time. We said no, because we believe in being here and think that there's no reason why you can't build something amazing in Cleveland, right? Mm-hmm. I mean, right? So I think that was one thing that we probably hesitated in some aspects, but we also walked down a path that led us to a place where we're continually still not necessarily funded. I mean, personally, Tim and I funded the majority of everything that happened at the 1,700 non-billable hours. Which again, 2013 was a really shitty financial year for us. But we built this really cool thing. So, yeah, I don't know if you have any.
Well, I think it's important to remember too, we built this at a span of 3 months to rush and get it done for South by Southwest because we got selected to be part of this competition. So on the technology side, I would like to start over, do a lot of re-architecturing, plan better for other devices and such. So a lot of that went through just to get it done. It was a working prototype that is a working prototype in the App Store right now. So there's a lot of work that needs to go into it. There's a lot of things that I'm enhancing right now behind the scenes, and I can't show you right now. But yeah, it's just about getting the time to do it and making it become what the capabilities of what it can be actually in a real world experience.
Okay, and how do you guys measure the results for this project?
Analytics?
We had a lot of fun. I had a great time at South by Southwest. A great time.
I think it goes back a lot to kind of what I started with. We measure success on anything we take on that we're not getting paid for. We measure results on our personal excitement and our personal pride. And if we're building something that our team believes in and they support and they're behind, it's worth doing it.
Right. Yeah, and that's a good point too, because our table over here for everyone that was with us last year was all a part of that. Everybody touched this project to some degree. So it wasn't just us at South by Southwest. And it was a lot of Chad's time and late nights.
A lot of late nights.
Do this now. The other thing I regret is that we put beta in the name when we tried to launch it, and Apple took a shit on us.
Yeah.
So don't do that. If you ever try and launch an application, don't put beta anywhere in the name of an app because they won't launch it.